Can you believe they let me near children?
Give it up for Will Davies, for Leo Mahr, for Verity Sharpe, for Ed Mulvey, everybody! Okay, so Kevin, so these are the acts. I'll tell you who's who, just so you know. Right furthest away from me, that's Ed Mulvey there. Next to him we've got Leo, next to him we've got Will, and right next to me we've got Verity. So let's take Ed as your start point. Who would you like to pair Ed up with tonight? Would it be Leo next to him, Will, or Verity? Will. So Will is to become Ed and vice versa, which means Leo is going to become Verity and vice versa. So that's the parents. Give them all a huge round of applause as they make their way back on the stage. Okay, so 8 performances again. First 4 will be them performing as themselves, then we mix it up and they come back as each other. So, up first, as themselves, put your hands together, raise the roof, give loads of love for the wonderful Will Davies!
Hello. That was a very nice welcome to the stage. I can only apologise, it has been rewarded with this. Before we get started, you guys want to see a magic trick? Yeah, me too, that'd be great. I know it doesn't sound like it, but I'm having a nice time. I've just come back from holiday. I've just come back from the best kind of holiday, a romantic holiday. Yeah, I would say, without a doubt, absolutely the best 5 days of my entire life. Highly recommend it. I got a couple of good tips though for the ultimate romantic holiday. Do you want to hear my top tips? Yeah, okay. Tip number 1, and this is the big one. 100% before you go on your romantic holiday, make sure that you are both in love. Because like I said, best 5 days of my life, 7-day holiday. We had a conversation on the evening of day 5 that went not how I expected. So I was maybe 2 days less good. I feel like though, mainly as the aggrieved party in that situation, I should have had more of a say in the itinerary for those last 2 days. Because we just did what she wanted to do. The main thing that she wanted to do was to see old buildings. We went to Germany, where there's a lot of old buildings. We couldn't find any. And we were walking around the town where we were, and she was just going, "This is shit. This is crap. This is all new. This is all glass and concrete. I hate it. I want to see some old buildings. Where are my old buildings?" And I was following her around just going, "Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where all the old buildings are. I don't know why it seems like a lot of West Germany was suddenly rebuilt in the 50s and 60s. But I'm glad it was." The other thing that I really wanted to do that she wouldn't let me do was go to the zoo. I really wanted to go to the zoo because I found out there were elephants there. And the reason she wouldn't let me go to the zoo is because I think my case was, listen, if I could just see another animal that by mass is 600 times sadder than I am, I will feel better. She wouldn't let me go to the zoo because also at the zoo were the wolves, and she's afraid of wolves. I think the main thing that she's afraid of was the idea of the wolves escaping. I tried to convince her this wasn't true. So at 2 a.m. In the middle of Germany, the Irish Association of Zoos and Aquariums to ask them, hey, how often do wolves escape? And it turns out they're even sadder than I am because they wrote back to me 2 minutes later. And they sent me facts, and they sent me figures, and if they sent me graphs, I will be married now to the British Association of Zoos and Aquariums. Because I loves me a graph. They sent me a lot of information about wolves. They weren't going to tell me how many animals escape from zoos because it would make them look bad. But I learned, there were a couple of interesting things that I learned. Number one, the definition of a wolf in the UK is pretty broad. For example, Wold Wildlife Park in Lincolnshire has exactly one wolf on the books, of the breed, domestic dog. Now, I'm not a zoologist. I'm not convinced that's a wolf. That sounds to me a lot like a dog. But it does have 5 stars on TripAdvisor, so it must be some fucking dog. The other thing that I learned, because they sent me a big list of all the wolves, and it had all the genders of the wolves. And in the UK, it turns out there are 123 male wolves, 84 female wolves, and 4 others. Which struck me as quite interesting. That's quite progressive for a wolf. So I wrote back and I asked them, what's the deal with this? And it turns out the reason there's 4 others is because it's actually quite difficult to tell the gender of a wolf. Because when you go into the enclosure, it's full of wolves. And I quote the email, they don't like it when you turn them over. Yeah. Anyway, that's probably the last time I'll go on holiday. I can never remember the last bit of this. What are those weird hairless cats that everyone has nowadays? Babies. Not sure what they're for. If anyone can offer any explanation, please see with the end. Anyway, thank you so much. Thanks, Will. Cheers. Give it for Will Davies, everybody!
And let's keep it going this time for Leo Mahr!
I learned today, for the first time ever, that I'm indeed quite tall. Thank you so much to the 16 people who told me. I had literally no idea. I know, right? Who would have thought that Tony from Skins is so tall and also does stand-up comedy? His career is really spiraling. Somebody's seen it. I'm 6'5", right? That has its challenges. I struggled a lot with coordination and balance when I was younger. But now, after a lot of training, I have become entirely self-centered. Thank you very much. It's worse if you have sex with me, right? My ex-boyfriend described the experiences as lots of limbs flopping about. Feels like folding in a gay pop-up tent. It's a gay pop-up tent, I hear you asking? It's the one that bends and snaps into place. Yeah. Have I been called the flailing man outside a car dealership? Yes, I have! Thank you, mother. I have another confession to make. My real name is not Leo. My real name is incredibly German and just not the vibe! As we know from Will's set, German is where the love goes to die. Moritz Johannes Mahr is my full German name, right? A full-bodied, long, sober name. Very good for my autobiography. Moritz Johannes Mahr, looking for love in a public toilet. But other than that, my name is quite a bit of a mouthful. That would also be accurate. Now, Moritz is my first name. The name Moritz comes from St. Moritz, the posh ski resort in the Swiss mountains. St. Moritz is also where I grew up. I don't have the most creative parents, I'm afraid. I'm just happy that I wasn't born in Cockfosters. But then that would also be accurate. St. Moritz itself is a strange place, right? It's usually where super rich Germans and the whitest people on the planet go to ski, hide naked in the snow, do buckets of cocaine, and then have very tall and pale children with the hotel staff. Yeah. I also learned that St. Moritz the Saint is actually the saint of knives and knife crime. When I learned that, I had to move to London immediately. Croydon in particular. Yeah, I also have a small German accent. Is it sexy? No, it is not. It is really, really not. I tried in fact really hard to lose my German accent because I think it sounds awful. It's like I want to draft you all into the Wehrmacht. Yeah, but it's sort of lingering around, just like the feeling of guilt about the fact that my granddad lives in Argentina now. Yeah. But I grew up in Switzerland, which is not Sweden. I know, very confusing. Neither of the places have been colonized by you guys. How would you know? But Sweden has nice things like ABBA and IKEA, right? While Switzerland has rich people, assisted suicide, and no inheritance tax. It's a perfect scheme. We don't even need a submarine for it. We also don't have an ocean. What also loves beside euthanasia is sitting on a fence, right? Try and get an opinion out of a Swiss person? Impossible. Were the Nazis good or bad? I don't know. How much gold do they have? It's a little history joke for you there. Usually splits the room, not because it's particularly offensive, more because of the state of the British education system. Yeah. Switzerland has no position on anything. I did not adopt this because my favourite position is doggy style surrounded by 7 hairy men. Yes, I am a gay man. Gay men were formerly known as... That was a test and you failed. I'm very sorry. Happy Pride. Give it up for Leo Mahr!
And let's give it again this time for Verity Sharpe!
Can I just say you're incredible? So good. Will you sit in any corner and do that?
Pretty much, yeah. I do it regardless to whether I'm here.
Sweet. We'll speak after. Hello. Okay. Hello, my name's Verity. I'm the resident northerner on the bill. I know what you're thinking. Prove it! If you cut me open, I bleed gravy. It's like, Gah! Bisto. I come from a small town in the Lake District called Mouth, locally known as Nobbergob. We actually used to have this music festival in Cockermouth. It was called Cock Rock. I got cock blocked at Cock Rock. It was a shock. It did not rock my cock. About 10 years in, the festival organisers decided to change the name of Cock Rock to Northbound, because they finally realised that cock rock sounds like a gay orgy to heavy metal music. And there was lots of confused gimps turning up. Your dad was pleased. The town was overrun. But no, I moved to London because I love Pret and Ket. Another thing about me, I'm the resident lesbian on the bill. I know, 2 gays in one night. Wow, back to back. Resident lesbian on the bill. I know what you're thinking. Prove it! Short fingernails. For fingering. Women. No, I'm single, you know. I've actually managed to wank myself into being in a relationship with myself. You know, I treat it like any other serious adult relationship. I go on dates by myself. I've met the parents. My favourite date is eating out. My favourite place... Pussy. Oh, correct. Correct reaction. I don't eat out as much as I would like to, you know, unless I remove a rib. Okay. Right, I'm going to end on a poem because I'm a cunt. This one is actually a political poem. It's very divisive, and I will be asking for everyone's individual opinion at the end. So I think it kept on. It's called Tits or Arse, and it goes like this. Staring at your lumpy bumps, proud and peachy, nice and plump, never makes my stump slump when you show me your tits or your arse. In underwear, racy and lacy, pinches and pulls, gets real chafy, like spandex on Kevin Spacey, holding up his shit tits and his fat arse. I will be fat shaming Kevin Spacey, so get that in, Leo. Do not drown in the pools of my eyes, instead drown in the pool between my thighs. A nip slip where dancing hips don't lie, tits or arse. Tits or ass or tits, it's all about the wobbly bits. Tits or ass or tits, a tough decision you must admit. Give me a cheer for tits. Woo! Give me a cheer for ass. Woo! Give me a cheer for personality. Lions! Thank you very much. Bless your souls and bless your holes. I've been Verity Sharpe. Good night.
Verity Sharpe! And let's get another round of applause going. This time, give it up. Wonderful, wonderful. Ed Mulvey, everybody!
Hello. I used to get yelled at a lot at work. He wasn't even senior to me because he was 8 years old. I was his nanny. Good system. I actually got paid more when he screamed at me because the dad was embarrassed. So I was winding him up a lot. He'd get annoyed, he'd want to call his parents, but I was under really strict instructions not to let him disturb them. They were out to dinner or a comedy show. They were somewhere pretending they didn't have any kids, basically. So I had to hide the phone. I don't know if any of you have ever hidden a phone from an 8-year-old so he can't contact his parents. Never felt more like a paedophile. And I fucked kids. That's not even second. Second is the first time that I ever collected him from school, because his parents had different surnames, so I wasn't 100% sure what his name was. I don't think at the school gates they give you multiple guesses. After that, I did a job, people look down on even more. People look down on people working in childcare. Fuck this up already! No! Boo! So people look down on people working in childcare. This will cut really nicely in the filming, won't it? But after that, I did a job people looked down on even more than that. I shot fish in a barrel. Yeah, people think that's easy. Like, try it. First fish, fine, really easy. Fish don't stop bullets. It goes through the fish, through the barrel, hits the wall, ricochets, bounces off, hits your leg. You're bleeding from the leg on your first day. Most of the time, the way the barrel's situated, you've got like a 40-degree firing arc that's safe. But still, if you're at that all day, you've structurally weakened the integrity of the barrel. It cracks open, now there's water and fish guts everywhere. The remaining fish are still flapping about. Oh, that'll be alright, that'll kill the fish. I'm not paid to watch fish suffocate. I've got to go around them individually, shoot them in the head. The floor's very slippery now. I fall over, drop the gun. Now the fish have the gun. Yeah, the expression shooting fish in a barrel? No? You just let me do that whole bit. Recently I've been working as a vigilante. Could have been. Roaming the streets at night, hunting down criminals. But under legal advice, I'm not supposed to call them criminals, because there's been no courts involvement at all. So I'm hunting down people that I think are criminals, while dressed as a bat. Which is where I get my name, the Bat's Racist. Right, alright, no. I'm not racist. I don't see race. Just colour, so that's it's fine. I'm a feminist. I don't know if they want me, but I am. Mainly out of self-interest, because the kinds of masculinity they're attacking are all the kinds I'm bad at. Then people say, well, at the moment the feminists are coming for the lads and the thugs, but when they come for the eloquent, who will speak out for them? I'm not the best feminist in the world, because I think that's a woman. Okay, no applause, that's right. I think women gaslight more than men, but they've convinced us we're doing it. It's quite a sophisticated technique to get the other person to believe you have a better memory of events than they do. Does that sound like something a man's remotely capable of? The term comes from the 1944 film Gaslight. You seen that film? Yeah? We watched it together. So weird, you don't remember. Wow, she's crazy. Anyway, see you back at the flat. So, in the film, the person doing the gaslighting is a man. But that's just because men get all the good roles in films. But even when it definitely should be a woman. But the two biggest films about pregnancy are the one where Arnold Schwarzenegger gets pregnant, Okay, that's a man. And Juno, but there's no time to get into that. Okay, alright, a little bit. I understand a lot of transphobic comedy about. I'm actually worse than a transphobe because I don't think women should be allowed in toilets. What are they doing in there? They don't piss or shit. I've never seen it happen. I refuse to believe it happens. Get your own hobbies. Thank you very much, Steve. See you later.
Get up, Ed Mulvey, everybody! Okay, that's it. We're into part 2 of part 2, where we see each one of the people comment each other. So, up first, this time with the material of... Who's first? I've got to mix this up. Oh, okay, with the material of Verity Sharpe. Welcome back to the stage, Leo Mahr!
Hello? The tone has been set. Welcome, my name is Verity, and I love a man who's good with his mouth. Welcome. I'm a northerner. That makes me superior to all of you. Welcome. Good luck, good luck. If you cut me, I bleed gravy, or like I, as a foreigner, like to call it, ground sludge that gives you a heart attack very soon. I love a knob-gob session. I can emphasize with that a lot, and I have been to the cock block, suck rock every year. So have I, coincidentally, with my father. I have now moved to London, and I had to discover that in London Pret is more expensive than ketamine. Which is as it should be. I am also a homosexual, which is how it should be. The homosexuals put together in a small amount of time and space, like in the olden times. To prove it, I have very short fingernails for fingering. Men. Yes. Works for both. Get it? It works. Yeah. I practice self-love. I want to maim myself to do it. I love it. I could also do yoga, but I just love the crassness of taking my own rib out. Which gives eating myself out a whole new meaning, doesn't it? And then I'm going to do a poem. Thank you so much for doing a poem. I love that I did a poem earlier, because I had so much time to write a poem. I fat-shamed Kevin Spacey, which is unfair because he said sorry, didn't he? Hello? Hello? No one? Okay. Okay, I guess not. I have been Verity, I have tits, ass, and a personality, and I'm a northerner. Thank you very much.
Get up for Leo Mahr, everybody! And up next, this time with the material of Ed Mulvey. Well, welcome back to the stage, Will Davies!
Can you believe they let me near children? Me, Hugh Grant playing the Babadook. That seems ill-advised. Although having met most people's children, I can understand why they also don't like them. Yes, it seems surprising that I'm not a paedophile. given how I spent a lot of my time dressed as history's most famous paedophile, Batman. And I also feel that I should clarify racist Batman is just Batman. Just a rich white man beating up on street crime when he could do literally anything else. He could do something useful. Like buy a social media platform and then devalue it by the factor of 3. Or advocate for a white supremacist. Or pretend he's going to Mars just so he doesn't have to speak to his children. Who he's given to me to look after. I've trapped them in a barrel. Elon Musk's children. Trapped them in a barrel. I'm employed by Captain Birdseye as a sort of, not necessarily as a factory worker, as a sort of commandant of the barrel. I maintain order very strictly, by a very sort of Stalin-esque method of, one, you got to kill one fish, so the others know that you're serious. But if you really want them to take you seriously, you've got to show them that you don't care about the pain. That's why every morning I shoot myself. And one of Elon Musk's children. I knew this would happen. And I'm just so glad he didn't do anything about Israel. I'm so glad that you're recording this as well, because there's no way this will be taken out of any context whatsoever. It's just lucky I don't have a career, really. Anyway, I think that's more than enough of whatever this is. If you want to talk to me after the show, please don't. I've got a lot of crying to do. Thank you so much.
Will Davies! Up next, it's time with the material of Leo Mahr. Give it up one more time for Verity Sharpe!
Hello. Hi. I am extremely tall. Yeah. I look like Tony from Skins, which you would think is an outdated reference. But I'm going to still perform it. Thank God we're in Camden, somewhere that's trapped in 2009. I am German, yeah. This is actually very... I'm just going to drop the German accent for now. So he asked about me. I'm also a homosexual. And my ex-boyfriend, with me being such a tall gay, my ex-boyfriend described me as flailing limbs whilst in bed. My mother, yes, mother, described me as a gay pop-up tent, or like one of those things outside car dealerships. You must remember, I am so very tall. I am German. My real name in German, in German that is, mein Natterwistenname is Hockenscharze Schwarze Lahmen. So I go by Leo. I grew up on a ski resort, which is an extremely posh place to grow up. There's snow for skiing and snow for snorting. The patron saint of Saint Maltz. Saint Maltz is the patron saint of knives. So naturally, I moved to London because I love knives. This is my German accent. I can say many, many things, and the German accent will make them sound less funny. My heritage is very confusing. seeing as my German grandfather or Großvater lives in Argentina. Whoa. And we all know what that means. But now my family live in Switzerland. This is notoriously a neutral country. All I have learned is that when you sit on the fence, you get splinters in your arsehole. Bless your cantankerous souls and your cancerous moles, I've been Leo.
Verity Sharpe! On the last, this time with the material of Will Davies. Welcome back to the stage, Ed Mulvey!
Hello. Sorry. Do you enjoy other forms of entertainment? I'm sorry. I'm an unusual booking with Joseph Jonas in the first half. No? I felt that I'm the same as him. I went on the ultimate romantic holiday, like a frisbee. I went on the ultimate romantic holiday in Germany. I don't read any of that. It was a 7-day holiday that I enjoyed for 5 days, and then 7 days she enjoyed it, and then there were 9 days that I enjoyed after that. But there were bits that I enjoyed, that I didn't enjoy on a holiday, and that's the irony there. See, you're having fun you should be having fun, even though I sound like I've never had fun in my life. Irony. I wanted control of the itinerary, obviously I wanted control of the itinerary. My girlfriend's so much stupider than me. They're fast, they're stupid. Mirrors are like zoos, because I'm sad, which makes everything the same. I loves me a graph. I want to marry a graph. I would marry anyone who had a graph. My dowry would be in graphs. I prefer transsexual wolves. Makes the graphs easier. The lines very clear. Sexing wolves can end in death. That's new information I'm bringing to the circuit. Well, I'll just end on this. You know those new hairy babies? What do they call them? Hairy babies? No, cats. They're called cats. Fuckable cat. Anyway.
Give it up for Ed Mulvey, everybody! Sorry, Will, as reluctant as you were to want to be on YouTube, I don't think you're going to be on YouTube.